Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast / YouTube / We Do It All. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here. My brother, Jay, his over there in the six. How you doing, my dog?
Great, doing great. Another day, another dollar. Ready to start this episode off right, man. How you doing?
Yes, sir, Jay. I'm doing good, Like how we were just talking off camera a little bit before we started. I just learned a new word. So, hey, Crody, turn me up. Turn me up, Crody. Turn me up, Crody. I gotta embrace my Canadian side of me, Jay. Even though I don't got it, but after listening to that Drake album, I feel like I'm like 2% Canadian now, Jay. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Man, but all right, Jay. I'm happy that we all doing good here. It is Friday, November 11th for everybody out there listening on the podcast on YouTube. Welcome in, family. We got another jam-packed, fun episode today. You know what we're gonna kick it off. We're gonna kick it off with the Pirtle game.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
Let's get it cracking, my brother. Let's get it cracking.
Jay, and I will say, so I got a chance to go with my boy Oko to the Houston Rockets game. So I have a player on the top of my mind who really impressed the both of us, who to start us off for our first guest, Jay, and that's Alperen Sengun. The guy he is cold, man. He is cold.
All right, Jay, I'm gonna need some spelling help here.
ALP.
Okay, there we go.
Yes, sir. There he is. Let's go, Alperen.
Oh.
Nothing.
Okay. Jay. We didn't get that.
Okay.
But he was impressive, though. You look good, though, Jay.
He looked good. He looked good. I was so impressed with his skills. I mean, he has like kind of that point forward baby Jokic kind of feel. So I really loved his game.
All right. Well, I mean, at least
help us in this game.
at least we know he's smaller than 6'11", though. Okay. Let's go with you feeling Gary Trent Jr.?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, he's in the East.
Oh, two. Okay, Jay.
Okay, he's in the East. Atlantic Division. I need to learn my divisions, Jay, because I really don't know those honestly too well.
Let's go. He's taller than 6'5". Jaylen Brown's taller than 6'5" because Boston's in the Atlantic. I know they're. Let's go, Jaylen Brown.
Oh,
6'6". Oh, he's a guard or a forward.
Guard or forward, bigger than 6'6".
Or is he a guard or a forward? Is that what it means?
The yellow.
He's older than 26.
Yeah, it's older than 26. Okay, his number is 7 or less. Ooh.
Oh, wait. So he's that they rule. So we ruled out Boston and Toronto. So he can't be on the Raptors or the Celtics. So that means he's either on the Nets, the Knicks. I can't remember who else is in the Atlantic Division. I think it's either the Nets or the Knicks, or is it Charlotte? I think that might be the last team in the Atlantic Division.
You want to try Joe Harris?
Yes, he's older than 26 years, shooting guard, and he's number 12, but it's less than 7.
That is true.
He's number 12. How about 6'6"? But Joe Harris would be a good one.
I kind of want to
maybe.
Who are you feeling, Jay?
Who's on the Knicks?
The Knicks, man. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I think RJ Barrett's like 6'7", 6'8". He's up there,
but he's not 20. He's not older than 26.
That is true.
6'6".
Oh man, Jay.
I don't think Atlanta's in the Atlantic Division either. I think they're like in the South or whatever, the Southern,
Southeast or something like that.
Yeah, the Southeast.
Oh man, Jay, I don't know this one, brother. I don't know, Jay. I might have to click that silhouette.
Are those the other two teams? Yeah, Let's
click that
silhouette so early. Should we go to the silhouette early?
No, we're
still at 4 to go.
Okay, yeah,
we still got 4 to go. Let's go one more.
One more guess at least, yeah. Eastern Conference
with Joe. Okay, let's see with Joe Harris. Let's just see because it might be. Let's do him because he's on the other team. He's on the
Brooklyn Nets, so he's on the Nets, right? Or
he is.
Green means he's on the Nets. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he's Royce O'Neal's not 6'6".
Man, hey Jay, I can't. I don't know.
Let's try Royce O'Neal.
Let's just give it a try. Oh,
let's
okay.
go.
I see you, Jay.
Let's go.
I see you. Okay, Jay, we
I
got
had
it
a
in
feeling.
5 guesses. I'm not gonna lie, Jay. Every single one of these you have knocked down so far, Jay. You've gotten all of these Pirtle ones so far. So whether it's been silhouette or I think this is the first one we just guessed those straight up without the silhouette though, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's big time.
First
big
of
time.
many. First of
there
many,
we go,
Jay.
First of many. I love that. So definitely shout out the Nets. Shout out Pirtle for supplying us with this great game to kick off the episode. But y'all already know what it is, man. Fun episode to get into. We're gonna get into the yay or nay. Easy, pretty self-explanatory. I got a statement here, Jay. You let me know if you yay or nay on it, all right? And we can talk about it a little bit if you want to get into it, all right?
Let's go.
All right, cool. Let's get into it, Jay. So for the first yay or nay statement, my brother, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been playing at a very high level and keeping the Celtics at the top of the East. But Jay, here's my statement. Yay or nay, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are now officially the best duo in the league.
Whoa. I'm trying to think of other duos we got in the league, man. Kyrie and KD's got to be up there.
I mean,
not this. I mean, I'm just talking from a pure talent standpoint of what they can do, but right. Who we got else? Who's else out there?
Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. They're not
Murray. Too young. Too early to tell what they've done.
Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. I think too early as well.
Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Too early as well.
Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. Feel like
I wouldn't say they're on that level.
They haven't won enough. They haven't won enough.
Yep.
I mean, the only two I guess I could think to myself as far as winning is enough is Giannis and Chris Middleton, to be honest.
Yeah. Or Giannis and Drew, if you want to say
exactly.
Yeah.
That's how packed the Bucks are. Yeah. I mean, James Harden and Joel Embiid haven't proven anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so hesitant to anoint them that though, but they have a strong case. Let's say yeah right
I'm
now.
yay on that too.
I'm gonna give it to him. Yeah, I'm giving it to him. Yay. I'm gonna say yay.
I'm yay on that too, Jay. I'm definitely yay on that too. Shout out the yay area.
Shout out the yay area, not
shout
yay.
Out the yay area.
I'm not gonna shout out the yay area, but yeah, no, I'm gonna give him yay right now, just because of what they've done. This is duo. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they've been just doing it every night. Every night the two of them show up, the Celtics have like what 90% chance, almost 100% chance of winning, right? Winning basketball games. That's what you want out of a duo. So let's go. Say that give them the best duo in the NBA right now.
Yeah, I'm with that, Jay. I'm definitely right there with you with yay on that. They are on the 4-game winning streak right now, so they make a strong case so far. But let's keep it pushing, my brother. The Utah Jazz are 5-0 at home. Their next 3 games at home are the New York Knicks, the Phoenix Suns, and the Detroit Pistons. My brother, are you yay or nay on the Jazz being able to extend their home winning streak to 8-0 after this 3-game homestand?
So run down who they got again.
Yep, they got the Knicks, then they got the Suns, then they got the Pistons.
I'm gonna go nay. I say they take care of the Knicks, and you said the Pistons, and they're gonna struggle against the Suns. I think they're not gonna be able to win that. Just the way the Suns are built, and how much of a system, and how they're so comfortable with how they play and how they run their offense. As great as the Jazz are playing, I think it's gonna be tough to win 3 of those games at home, especially when you got the Suns in the middle of 2 of those games. You kind of have like a little bit of an easy opponent. No one in the NBA is an easy opponent, but you got that, and then you have to play in between the 2 of those. You got the Suns coming in like that. It's gonna be tough. So I'm gonna say go with no, Jay. But how are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, Jay, I'm right there with you. I gotta go with no, because I mean, I just think as great as the Jazz are playing, I think they're catching a lot of people just off guard, kind of like how the Grizzlies caught a lot of people off guard, the year before, where it's just like you come into it maybe not as prepared, and then you get punched in the mouth, and then the Jazz are then just too good to let up. But I know I have to think that all good things, must come to an end, and that is, for the Jazz. And I think when they face, a good team like the Suns, that home streak will come to an end. But just a quick shout out for the Jazz though, because the Jazz, the Bucks, and the Cavs are the only 3 teams in the league with the undefeated home record. So definitely, big shout out to them. The Bucks are 7-0 at home, Cavs are 4-0 at home, and the Jazz are 5-0 at home. So big shout out to those teams, man, getting it done. Let's just see when, I guess, this Utah Jazz collapse will happen, or we'll be talking about the Jazz hosting the Larry O'Brien Trophy, Jay.
Man, they're certainly playing. Yeah, they're certainly turned their. Well, I mean, no one had them.
Yeah,
higher than what, the 13th, 12th seed in the West. So to be at the top, the first seed, number 1 seed in the NBA, the best record. Can't really hate on that. I mean, Lauri Markkanen's turning into a star before our eyes. I'm almost at a loss for words, honestly.
just got to give him props for that.
Shout out G Foss.
Shout out G Foss. Hey, but even G Foss didn't even know though. Even G Foss was even all of us. That's a crazy thing.
Yep.
Man.
Totally blowing. Yeah.
Crazy, Jay. Crazy. Definitely shout out the Jazz doing their thing. But RJ, let's keep it pushing. Next yay or nay statement is, so I was watching the Grizzlies versus Celtics games, which I'll get into that for the game recap. And I was just like watching Ja Morant, and you just get excited, man. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm ready to put it on wax. I'm ready to put it on a statement. To me personally, Ja Morant's the most exciting player to watch on the night-to-night basis. Jay, yay or nay with that statement?
I'm gonna have to go nay on that, Jay. I still, and I'm gonna be biased with this, but I still think it's Steph the night to night. I mean, he's averaging 32 a game, or I would say Luka. I would say one of the two. I think from an athletic standpoint, like if you like athletes, and I do love the change of pace that Ja plays with. I do like that, but for me personally, night to night, I love the way that Luka can dissect the defense. He controls the pace too. He controls the game, or Steph. But I mean, I do love watching Ja. Jay. I can't say for me, but that's pick your poison, right? That's more of a like what you prefer in what you like to see in a basketball player, right? But I think all 3 of those players. I wouldn't be mad watching any of them. Man, for sure. No, definitely not mad watching any of those guys. But yeah, Jay, to me, it did come down to between Ja and Luka, and I kept going back. I'm surprised you didn't say Luka, Jay.
That's the thing, Jay. So like I said the statement, I wrote it down, and then I thought to myself, like, man, like that's kind of rude to Luka, because Luka are putting on a ridiculous performance. But just I mean, like how you said. It's more of a
shocked, Jay.
Jay, it's more of a pick your poison thing, man. I had to pick Ja Morant. It's literally like watching a man. He has springs on his knees. Like you just never know at what point he's just gonna just spring up and just fly in air and go towards you. And I love the way he plays with his body, right? A lot of times where he goes up to the hoop, he leads with his body. So you're either gonna have to foul him or he's dunking on you, dog. And it's crazy to see a 6'3" guard, 6'2", 6'3" guard bounce like that, man. So I have to go with Ja Morant, Jay. Just one of those electric flying players. You just can't get enough of, Jay. So I'm definitely there with John. For all the people at home, you know what I'm saying? So this is me and Jay's first, were we not agreeing? So let us know in the comment section down below. Is it Ja? Is it Luka? Is it Curry? Is it somebody else? Do you like to see just straight up dominance? And is it Dame? Bron? Is it Giannis? Like who is it?
Yeah.
Who is on a nightly basis? What's up, Jay?
Jay, any of those, if anyone said any of those dudes, I would be like, all right. Like you could make a case for all the guys we just named.
Absolutely.
Honestly, so
absolutely, man.
But anyways, that's how good our league is. That's how
man,
good the league is, man.
Man, we're blessed, Jay. We're blessed. We get to watch some great basketball.
How talented the league is.
Man, absolutely. Crazy. But all right, Jay, let's keep it pushing here, Jay. Next statement, yay or nay statement. We did see Steve Kerr talking about the Warriors cutting down a lot of players' minutes, and we've been, noted on podcasts talking about James Wiseman a lot. I'm very up on him. I know you're not as high on him, but Jay, yay or nay, should James Wiseman go back to be getting more minutes? Maybe not starter minutes, but more minutes and not get DNPs.
I would say right now he hasn't earned the minutes, but I don't really necessarily know if they're using him in the correct way right now. I think they've totally turned him into, an in the paint post up guy. He's ducking in on cuts and drives. He's in the dunker spot. Necessarily, they kind of took away, like, early on in his career, we saw the pick and pop. We saw him on the perimeter. We saw him more show off his ability and his touch from the outside. And early on in the season, he hasn't really been able to utilize it. They haven't been utilizing him and even spacing him out to the corner and just giving him different looks and different opportunities to succeed, because just turning him into a one-dimensional player, where right now he hasn't shown that he has that motor, Jay, that he has if we're comparing him to a guy like JaVale McGee, who I think has, at his worst, Wiseman, I could see him being that in his career, like a solid, veteran roller, complementing other star players. That's certainly what he's looking like right now. He hasn't, shown the flashes of being a star closer. Jake, you always mention Anthony Davis. He hasn't shown being anywhere close to that so far in his career. So I think they need to put him in different roles, if anything, and see if he can succeed in that, and then maybe put him in more minutes. But right now, just the level he's playing at has been a huge reason why the Warriors have been struggling to start, because they've been giving him all these minutes and he hasn't been proving that he can play and playing up to the level that they need him to play as a backup center in the league. So I would say wait till he earns it, Jay. Wait till Wiseman earns those minutes, and then you can start thinking about giving him more minutes ultimately. But first things first, Jay, put him in different roles to succeed and see how he performs.
So as of now, you're going with an A, Jay?
I'm going with an A.
Okay. See,
I just had to give that a little background.
I like that, Jay. I like that. And I agree with a part of your reasoning, but I'm gonna go with the yay. I definitely like what you talked about with putting him in different roles. I think it'll be great. But the reason why I think I'm going with the yay is because I think the Warriors should let these young guys play through some of these mistakes, right? And I mean, we did see that the Warriors got off to that slow start, and then Steve Kerr came and said, we're gonna have the lineup changes, and you even called it. You said after this road stretch, they're going to come home and they're going to really start to switch things around. And they did. And as we see, Curry went off and dropped that 47-point game. But in my opinion, Jay, I think that the young guys, like, instead of them getting their minutes cut because they're not getting it done and the Warriors are off to a slow start, I think the Warriors should let them play through those mistakes, because as a young guy, you just learn a lot more, like trying to figure out a new role or playing through mistakes, rather than, just watching greatness or watching Curry, save the day. It's absolutely amazing to watch Curry go for 47. Even if, man, you got free front row tickets right there. If you're not playing, you get to watch greatness, but you don't learn as much than whether you're out there making the mistakes, going through it. And I mean, it's really prime example to me, what I think is Jordan Poole, right? His first year was 2019, 2020. The Warriors had the worst record in the league at 15-20, but Jordan Poole played 71 games that year and started in 14. Similar thing the following season. The Warriors didn't have a great record. Jordan Poole played a lot. And what happened? Now look at him. He's this struggling right now, but this rising star. And I mean, we've seen him last year in the finals, came up big, and time after time has come up big. And why did he get that? Because when the Warriors were in situations where they could cut down minutes or let him play through it, they let him play through it, and look where he got. So I would say, maybe not with everyone, because I get, you don't want to tank the season, but some of these players, especially the Wiseman, especially the Kumingas, maybe even Moses Moody's, you got to, I think, in my opinion, let them play through those minutes, let them learn and become that, next level player.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing with that is we'll see if early on, if they can afford him minutes, because they've put themselves in a hole, losing all these games early in the season, especially to teams that they shouldn't have lost to. They snuck away with one against Sacramento. One could argue they should have lost that game, but the margin for error now is a little less than was before, because you thought you were going to get off to a good start and kind of have more time to integrate them. Well, I did think they would come off to a slower start because you're trying to play the young guys. Didn't expect them to come out 3-7, now 4-7 to start the season. So you have to be careful with it. more than ever. And Jay, I will add to your point about, you mentioned Jordan Poole in his second year, how he was able to afford more minutes. Well, he did go down to the G League, but the only issue with Wiseman going down to the G League this year, which I think it would be a good thing for him to do, is the G League and big man doesn't mix. The big men in the G League, they're not very big, number one, and if they're in the G League, they're probably not very good. Honestly, guards, you see a lot of guards going back and forth, guards who are trying to hang on and get a spot in the league. Guards who are really good could easily make in, close to $1 million or more in Europe, but they choose to stay here, develop, and then maybe sneak onto a roster midway through the season with an injury or this or that. So it's a tough decision that the Warriors, and that's why I've been saying, if they may be forced to choose to trade away these young guys and get a solid veteran piece who's going to help them contribute to winning now, because Steph ain't getting any younger, Clay ain't getting any younger. That window, they're the goal for them to go is to go back to back, right? And Wiseman doesn't look like he can be a part of that picture right now. Not saying he won't be that, but as we speak right now, he doesn't look like he's part of that equation, Jay. So we have to keep that in mind in terms of giving him those minutes.
That's fair, Jay. That's fair. And again, another one for the fans down below. Let us know, man. Should Wiseman be getting these minutes? Should Wiseman get sent down to the G League? I think that's a great observation, Jay. I like that observation about a big man in the G League. I never even put that together. So going on that. But let's keep it pushing, Jay, to our next yay or nay statement. LaMelo Ball, Jay, still without playing a single game this season. And the Hornets are struggling, Jay, sitting in last at 3-10. When LaMelo Ball comes back, yay or nay, that he can help the Hornets get back into play-in contention?
I'm going to go nay. We just saw Cody Martin go down tonight, go down. He's going to be out for 6 weeks. So they're out without a lot of rotation pieces. Miles Bridges most likely out for the season. Guys that they relied on heavily last year aren't going to be in the mix, and then he's going to be thrown into this team. We don't know when he's coming back. For all indications, what reason for them is to rush him back anyways? You're already in a 7-game hole right now, below 500. I don't see the point of rushing him back. And when he comes back off an ankle injury with we know with the motor he plays with the up pace, up tempo kind of style that he plays. He likes to run and gun. What's he going to look like? It's going to take an adjustment period for him to get his legs under him, to get in the rhythm of playing. So that's going to be in effect, Jay. So I'm going to go with nay. It's going to be tough for him for them to win basketball games in general, Jay. But how are you feeling?
Yeah, Jay, I'm right there with you. I mean, I got to go with nay. This team is just not built to win, Jay. I mean, we've seen the last 2 years. They choked the play-in 2 years in a row, and now they lost Miles Bridges, which was a 20-point-per-game scorer, arguably their second best player. And yes, like LaMelo Ball is the guy. He's the guy they're going to build the team around. But I feel like LaMelo Ball is best when he has like scorers and people who are a threat to get to the hoop around him, because he can score himself. But we all know a huge part of LaMelo Ball's game is his IQ, his vision, the way he pushes the ball down court. He can't be pushing the ball down court to Mason Plumlee, because that's just not going to get it done against any big in this league, man. So I just don't think this team is built to win. And then also you talk about the injury of Cody Martin. So unfortunately, LaMelo is going to have to be in a rebuilding situation. Just want to see how long this is going to go, man, because I want to see him play with some good players. I want to see him play good players, get up the court quick, because he's a fun player to watch. Every time that the Hornets were with Miles Bridges in the last 2 years, I always picked them as my league pass team. They always let me down, but you know what I'm saying? I picked them. They're fun to watch. Yeah,
well, Jay, he could be playing with a real good top talent, top tier, one of the best upcoming prospects we've ever seen, and that's Victor Wembanyama. So we might be seeing him playing with the top tier talent pretty sooner than we all think.
That'd be real fun, Jay. That would be fun. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be so fun to watching those crazy athletic gifted guys get down court, and LaMelo throwing those full court outlet passes. Victor gonna be catching him up here because nobody could reach him. Nobody could reach him that high. That's
That'd be a
crazy,
crazy
Jay.
combination.
Common, crazy. But all right,
Yeah.
Jay, let's go ahead and keep it pushing and let's get to our next segment, my brother. And that is a segment we love around here, and that is the over or under, simply overrated or underrated. Jay, you let me know if you're underrated or overrated based on how they've been playing this season so far, and only take into account this season. But let's go ahead and get into it, Jay. First player that we have here is Desmond Bane. Jay, overrated or underrated?
I'm gonna go with underrated. You know, he's still a guy who's on the rise. You know, this season he's taken an even bigger leap. And he's arguably, 24, 25 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists on a true shooting percentage of 62%. So he's still getting it done. You know, he's still developing into a elite, two-way guard. He plays with an extremely high motor. This season, he's shooting 46% from the 3-point line, which is absolutely incredible for the number of shots he's taken, Jay. So I think he's just developing, Jay. And, at the pick that they got him, it's an absolute steal for the Grizzlies. So, but I still think he's not mentioned enough when we talk about elite two-way shooting guards. Elite shooting guards in the game too, because he's a top 10 shooting guard in my opinion. But Jay, how do you feel? Underrated, overrated?
Yeah, Jay, big time underrated for me. I think a big thing of what the Grizzlies have been able to do these past couple of years, or what they've been able to do this year so far, has been because of Desmond Bane. I mean, you talked about it right now: 24 points per game on 46% from both the field and the 3-point line. And one thing that I want to touch on, Jay, is like everyone raves about, Ja Morant's ability to get to the hoop and his drives to the hoop. But I think that a big part that Ja has those open lanes and has that even the ability to be able to get to the hoop like that is because once Ja blows by his initial defender, the help defender can't really risk getting off Desmond Bane to come cut Ja off, because that's just going to be a kick out pass. And Desmond Bane has been a knockdown shooter, man. I just said 46% from 3 for the season. 3 out of these last 5 games he played in, he shot 50% or better from 3. And as a defense, you just can't risk giving up those 3 points. So you're going to have to let Ja either dunk on your big man or get a free lane to the hoop, because you'd rather give up a 2 instead of a 3. So I think that, that's a big part of the Grizzlies game, and Ja's game. Ja gets, rewarded because of Desmond Bane's great shooting, and the defense can't go help. So I'm right there with you, Jay. Big time underrated player. But all right, Jay, let's go ahead and keep it pushing. Let's get to the next player, and that is John Collins. Jay, overrated or underrated?
John Collins, man. I'm going to go overrated. The bag that he got, he had a great start to the season, Jay. He had a great start to the season, but he's kind of tapered off. Maybe that's to do with him being the third option on arguably maybe the fourth option behind DeAndre Hunter, and certainly behind Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. But, I sometimes I question his engine. I don't know if it's to do with him being still not happy with his situation, but I'm talking strictly for the bag that he's getting: 11 points a game, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 steals a game, 0 blocks a game. And this is in the last 5 games. But on the season, he's averaging 12 points per game, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. But I think that's highly inflated. As you know, Jay, I know he's a member of the Clutch Talk fantasy basketball team, so but I don't think he's producing at what he's getting paid to do right now, if relatively, Jay. So I'm gonna go overrated right now.
Yeah, Jay. Honestly, I should say underrated, because I should since he's on my fantasy, I should do some tampering right now, Jay, and try to, what I'm saying, like under
trying to get Evan Mobley off me.
Jay, what I should do right now is I should say underrated, overplay his value so I can get a good trade for him on fantasy, but I'm not. I'm right there with you, brother. He's been extremely overrated this season so far. We're talking about this is supposed to be the Hawks' big 3. The Hawks have been advertising Trae, DeJounte Murray, and John Collins. Where has John Collins been? Jay, you talk about it: 12 points per game on a big bag, 8 rebounds per game. He's not even averaging a double-double, and his a big part of what he's supposed to do on that team is catch lobs, defend, and get some rebounds. And he's not even averaging that double double. The last couple of games, yeah, I love how you bring that up. Look at these horrendous numbers: 11 points, 4 rebounds, 12 points and 4 rebounds, 14 points and 5 rebounds, 7 points and 5 rebounds. He's just not getting it done out there, Jay. Every single one of those games that I just mentioned, he got to the line 5 or less times. He's just not being aggressive enough. As a big in this league, you're getting to the foul line 5 or less times when the refs are whistle happy. Come on, man. You're just not being aggressive enough, and there's just no excuse. I wanted to give him high praise, Jay, so I could get him off my team. But John Collins, I definitely got to go with overrated here.
That's respectful, Jay. That's respectful.
All right, Jay. So then let's keep it pushing. Let's get to the next player here. We talked about him a couple episodes ago, and that is Bol Bol. Jay, overrated or underrated?
I'm gonna go underrated right now. He's still on the come up. He's still playing hard. He's still showing how skilled he is. This is the first time that we've had him. He's actually had the chance to prove himself and get ample time. We saw in Denver, he never got the minutes that he could to actually prove himself, which is crazy, right? You know, Denver's a team who developed Jokic into the player he's now, and I can't believe they saw a 7-foot player with those ball handling skills, with that kind of talent, that ability to stretch the floor, and they just said, you know, we're gonna get rid of him, which is surprising. But Orlando might have got a steal, right? Has a elite motor at his size, you know, his ability to change shots at the rim, his ability to stretch the floor, his ability to take a rebound and push in transition. So he's showing all these skills of truly like a unicorn, right? A unicorn type of player. So I'm gonna go underrated because he's just on the rise. He's just getting an opportunity to shine really and get more minutes in the NBA. So I'm gonna go with underrated for Bol Bol.
Jay, I had to check. The share settings on my show notes. I was like, hold on, man. Does Jay have my show notes? Because Jay, I'm right there with you, man. Bol Bol is extremely underrated. I really would like to see him be able to score more on a consistent basis, on a nightly basis. But the flashes and the stuff that he can do out there, man, really. People don't talk about it enough, man. We're talking about a 7-footer. That really is a unicorn out there. So I got to go underrated. We talk about his defense, man. I mean, he just covers so much ground on defense. Often talk about that move that Luka Doncic does, that when he's pivoting and then he leans into you and then he fades away after. Luka, that move works amazing. He did it. That's what got him to the Western Conference Finals. But Bol Bol, that game against the Magic, had blocked a couple of those shots, man, because of his terrific defense. So I definitely got to go Bol Bol for underrated. Can get it done really on both ends and isn't talked about enough. So definitely got to give that to my guy, Bol Bol. But let's keep it pushing here, Jay. Next guy we have is Kelly Oubre Jr. I'm going to go ahead and kick this one off, Jay, because honestly, I really wanted him for my fantasy, Jay. I wanted to get him for my fantasy. He's a big time. He's a great player to have a fantasy, but right now, as the Hornets being 3-10, not really so great for as far as like winning wise, but individually 18 points per game, 5 rebounds. In this last game against Miami, he scored 29 points on 55% from the field and a 3-point line. And although the Hornets are losing, I feel like he's a big reason that they're even staying in some of these games. So I got to go with underrated for Kelly Oubre Jr., man. He's getting the bigger chances here, a lot more shots with Miles off the team.
I'm gonna go on it's hard to say with a player like Kelly Oubre, Jay, but I'm gonna go overrated, man. I'm gonna go overrated. I think the statistics sometimes do tell a bit of the story, but in this case, you know, like you mentioned, he's shooting higher volume. He's getting more minutes than he has in his career, 5 minutes to be exact. You know, he's a 25 per game player, 25 minutes per game player, and this year he's getting 30 minutes per game. He is scoring 18 points per game, Jay, but on a true shooting percentage of 52, and he's getting up a lot more shots. And it's not to say that, you know, I think if he has Miles Bridges there, if he has LaMelo Ball, he's not doing this. In his role, I think, you know, as we've seen before. I think when he's at his best, he's a sixth, seventh man. He's starting this year, Jay. He's performing, but I can't really say he's an elite or not even elite because no one thinks of Kelly Oubre as elite, Jay. But I wouldn't say him as someone that I really want on my team, not in fantasy, but just on in terms of coming off the bench and giving you quality minutes, because I think he needs a ball, like you mentioned, to succeed, and he doesn't really work too hard, or he's not a guy you can really rely on in playing a role, being an elite role player, Jay. So that's why I'm gonna go overrated for what he is right now as a player.
I just think Kelly Oubre, man, just one of those guys that's fun to watch, electrifying, give you energy on the defensive end. So, for some of that, I gotta go under, but I totally get that. But last player here, Jay, is D'Angelo Russell. For this one, Jay, I got a lot to say on this one, Jay. So let me go ahead and kick this one off. That's overrated, in my opinion. And I hate doing this to my boy. I hate doing this because he really is my boy. I have a D'Lo jersey from when he was on the Lakers. But so far right now, Jay, as he's the point guard of the Timberwolves. And so far the Timberwolves have looked like a mess. They don't look together. They don't look good. From Ant's inconsistency to D'Lo's continued inconsistencies. We talked about that in the beginning of the season. Their high volume of turnovers. They make silly mistakes. The questions are really starting to come up about their big man lineup. And I just want to say, Jay, I did call this, and I know the season isn't over yet, but I did call this when we had the episode with you and with us and Greg Foster, man, from the Unsalvageable podcast. I called that. I said the Timberwolves are going to be that 9th seed. I don't believe that this is going to work, and it honestly hasn't worked. All my worries have so far, what I've seen, have been true. And D'Lo, with the players that he has around him and the players that he is, only putting 14 points per game and 5 assists, and worst of all, losing, man, I got to go overrated for what he's supposed to do, man. He's supposed to be the point guard to bring that team together, bring Cat, bring Rudy, bring Ant together as the guard, man. That's what you do. So I got to go overrated with my guy D'Lo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go overrated as well, Jay. To second all the things that you just said there. I mean, he's not playing efficient this year. He's not making efficient plays. He hasn't been what they need, for this Minnesota team, and that's a huge reason of why they've been struggling this season. So, it's been a story of inconsistency with D'Lo his whole career, unfortunately, and this season hasn't been any different. So overrated.
Man, I like that, Jay. Yeah, D'Lo, you got to get that together, my boy. But all right, Jay, let's go ahead and keep it pushing, and let's get to the next segment here, Jay, and that is true or false. This is a little quick, fun game, for you, for the family out there. I'm going to go ahead and say a statement, and you let me know if it's true, you let me know if it's false. Quick and easy, man. But first statement here, the Orlando Magic are the youngest team in the league at an average age of 24 years old. Is that true or false?
The Magic are the youngest team
in the league at an age of 24 years old, the average age of 24 years old. Is that true or false?
I'm gonna go with true.
Oh, Jay, it's actually false, Jay. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder at 23. That's crazy, Jay. That's 23. I'm 23. That's insane. Yeah, that Oklahoma City Thunder at 23. They got a lot of young cats over there. But all right, Jay, let's go ahead and get the next statement here. Kristaps Porzingis is the tallest player in the league at 7'3". True or false?
Go with false. It's Boban.
There you go, Jay. There you go, Jay. Go ahead and get that on the nail. All right, here we go, Jay. The Lakers have the oldest oldest average age of team in the league at 27 years old. True or false?
Well, I'm gonna go with true because Bron throws off that average.
Oh, Jay, it's close, but it's false. It's actually the Bucks at 29. Actually surprised me, Jay. I was like, wow, the Bucks at 20. That's a team full of just like veterans and just ready to win, man. So that explains a lot. Yeah. So that are the Bucks at 29. But all right, Jay, the average age of an NBA player is 26 years old. Is that true or false, Jay?
False.
False?
Yeah.
It's true, Jay. The average age of NBA player is 26.
Jay, come on.
Here we go. All right, Jay. All 30 teams have at least one international player. True or false?
30 teams have one international player. False.
It's true, Jay. It's true. All 30 teams have at least one international
big.
player. That's true. That's true. But all right, Jay.
Big.
Last one right here. This one's fun right here. This one's actually cool. Jay, there are 13 sets of brothers in the start of the 2022-2023 NBA season. Is that true or false?
True.
That is true, Jay. That is true.
Yeah,
and just for a quick runoff, this is kind of crazy, Jay, because I mean, like the chance of getting to the NBA, all right, is already super slim, and then the chance of you and your brother getting to the NBA is even crazier. But I mean, we got the Antetokounmpo brothers. We know that. We got the Ball brothers. We have the Curry brothers, of course. We have the Holiday brothers, the Jones brothers, the Lopez, the Martins, the McDaniels, the Mobleys, the Wagners, the Morris, and Willie Herman Gomez and Juancho Herman Gomez. Jay, that is a whole lot of brothers in the league, and it's just crazy how like things something like that could work. Like you make it to the league, your brother makes it to the league. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that? That'd be huge, man. But yeah, Jay, that was a little quick fun game, true or false. I wanted to bring on, but you know what it is, Jay. It's time for the episode where we get into the game recaps, and that's for all the family out there who haven't had a chance to sit down and watch these games. We're gonna go ahead and get straight into it, my brother. I'm gonna go ahead and recap a fire game that we had on Monday, November 7th, and that was the Grizzlies and the Celtics. The Celtics beat the Grizzlies 109-106. When I seen this game on the schedule, Jay, I had to watch it. We're talking about two early season MVP candidates in Ja and Jason Tatum. And Jason Tatum had 39 points, Jay, but he for real could have had like a 50 burger or more. And like this was one of those nights. Like he shot 3 of 11 from the 3-point line. He missed a bunch of easy free throws that he usually knocks down. He was 2 of 16 from the free throw line. So, you just add some of those. That's easy 50 burger. But I mean, let's get into the game. Jason Tatum was just playing aggressive, Jay, just playing like he was just the ultimate best player and just being more assertive and aggressive out there. But the Grizzlies, they did get off to a red hot start, scoring 34 points in the first quarter. I just kind of felt like everyone on the Grizzlies was contributing to that first, Jay. The Grizzlies were really outworking the Celtics. They had 10 second chance points just in that first quarter. And Tatum, I'm not going to lie, Jay, got off to a slow start, only scoring 6 points in that first quarter, but he finished the first half with 27 points. So that should tell you a little bit about how that second quarter went. The Celtics outscored the Grizzlies 37-20. And in that second quarter, the Celtics actually came in, Jay, down by 6. And because of Jason Tatum's dominant performance in that second quarter, left up by 11. And one thing that I want to point out from that second quarter was the Grizzlies bench. And it honestly was very concerning to me, Jay, when Ja Morant stepped out for a second to get a break really throughout this whole game. That was a theme. But in that second quarter, he stepped out to get a break. And the Grizzlies go on, they went on a scoring drought. The Celtics went on a 20-0 run. And what I thought to at that time was the loss of DeAnthony Melton. And you talked about this, Jay. You talked about how much that would hurt their bench unit, and it really, really did, man. After that second quarter, we just seen the Celtics come out honestly on fire, Jay. Their interior defense was on lock. Ja Morant, a player who only averages 4 threes per game, the Celtics had locked the paint down. Ja really couldn't go anywhere. So he ended up shooting 12 threes this game, which is like almost double what he shoots per game. Dylan Brooks' struggles out there really showed because any momentum that the Grizzlies would get going, he would just come down court, clank, airball, clank, clank, and really just couldn't get anything going. End of the game shooting 35% from the field, 16 of 17 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. But really no need to fear, Jay. Ja is here. He had a dominant third quarter, brought the Grizzlies right back into this game. Again, similar to that second quarter, but instead of the Celtics, it was the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies entered the third quarter down by 11, left up by 1, all because of Ja Morant's heroic 3-point third quarter. But then, Jay, Ja Morant had to get some rest. Come to the start of the fourth, the Grizzlies let up, man. The Grizzlies just let up. And when Ja came back in the game, it was just too little, too late. And it definitely was a sad thing to see because Ja was out there fighting, trying to do all he could. But the Grizzlies, were negative, we're a minus 17 without Ja on the court. Ja himself was one of the few only plus players on the Grizzlies. So, it just came out that John Moran was the only guy to get it done that day. And then just one thing I want to highlight is definitely shout out Jason Tatum. He did his thing, 39 points, almost had a 50 burger. But I don't want to overlook Marcus Smart, man. He had 15 points, 12 assists, shot 54% from the field, 33% from three. And he was that point guard that the Celtics needed, that point guard to calm everything down when everything is going crazy, run the offense. And he really did that this game. So definitely shout out Marcus Smart. But the Celtics did come out with this 109-106 win against the Grizzlies.
Yeah, Jay. This game just shows you. I did get a chance to watch this game as well, and this game just shows you, the power of the two, the power of this duo, this elite duo, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Although Jaylen Brown only had 21 in this game, it's not all about points, right? But Jason Tatum led the way for the Celtics with 39. But this shows you also from both of these teams, the power and the fight of the Grizzlies, being down without Jaren Jackson Jr. and then the Celtics without their primary rim protector. We still have to remember that Robert Williams is still out for them, but it's always next man up. We've been seeing good minutes from Grant Williams. We've been seeing good minutes from Sam Hauser, not in this game, but we've been seeing good minutes from him. We've been seeing multiple guys for the Celtics who've been able to step up this season. So with that kind of theme, they're able to sneak out these kind of tight games in late game situations, Jay. But at the same time, John Morant's been playing phenomenal, Jay. And I can see why he's one of the most exciting players to watch, but at the same time, Jason Tatum's been showing the guy who wasn't there in the finals, who was when they made that huge run, when they went on that historic run from when they were struggling to all the way leading up to the finals. We're starting to see that guy, and it's looking like he's even improved on that performance, Jay. So, tough, hard fought game between two teams who I think we're not going to be seeing the end of them anytime soon here. So, Jay, let's push it to another game that I have here from the same night, November 7th, and that's the Golden State Warriors 116-113 win over the Sacramento Kings, a game they needed to have at home, a game where they were struggling. We saw the Warriors have an early lead to start the game that just dwindled down. They ended up losing the first quarter 31-29, and then they were never able to re-get the lead until minutes left in the fourth quarter, man. This is a game where we saw, Jay, you talked about him all last season. And we saw all last season how actually good, how effective he can be. And that's Malik Monk, going 7 from 16 from the field in this game, 24 points, 12 plus minus of 12 in this game, 7 from 7 from the line. But what we saw from Monk was no one really could contain him on the perimeter. The Warriors really had no answer to his quickness, his efficiency. And the story about Malik Monk and how his game is so effective. If he's hitting this shot and he's hitting his 3-pointers, it's tough to guard him because we know how quick and athletic he is. And if he gets that first step on him, if you overplay his 3 and you commit to it, he's getting down lane and he can finish with the best of them. We saw him boom it in this game as well. And then another great performance from De'Aaron Fox, 8 for 17 from the field, 2 for 5 from the 3-point line in this, 10 for 12 from the free throw line in this one. He continues to improve his outside shooting. I think we're seeing him similar to what Ja Morant and his effectiveness. We're seeing him start to change his place. We're seeing him start to slow the game down, pick his spots, whether it's mid-range, whether he's getting all the way to the cup while he's getting fouled. He shot 12 free throws in this this game. He only shot 5 threes in this game, but he went 2 for 5. So we're seeing his efficiency start to tick up along with his shot selection, and those two things go hand in hand, Jay. Where we didn't see anything good, and I'm just focusing on the Kings right now, and that's Domantas Sabonis. He struggled here early on. He was picking on Draymond, but he started to taper off, going 6 from 15 from the field, 40%. You really want to see a better field goal percentage, especially from a big man, a guy who you rely on to get those easy baskets in the paint. But credit to the Warriors, they were able to make his life a little more difficult in this game. James Wiseman was out of the rotation in this one. And who did we see for minutes from in this game, Jay? Only 8 minutes, but that was Jonathan Kuminga. We saw him early on. Steve Kerr brought Anthony Lamb, a bench player from the Warriors, guy on the two-way contract, Jonathan Kuminga, and we saw Ty Jerome early in this game. And they provided some good minutes in this one. Ty Jerome, not his best game, but still the bench struggled in this one. And that's why the Kings were able to stay in front majority of this game. All of the starters were plus, Jay. All the starters were plus in this game. All of the bench players from Anthony Lamb to Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Ty Jerome, and Moses Moody were all minus, Jay. And that difference in a game is huge, right? You have the lead, which the Warriors did early in this game, and early in the first quarter, up by 12 at one point, and then the bench unit comes on, boom, that lead evaporates, and the Kings won the first quarter, 31 to 29, Jay. And we saw that the theme the whole game. The Warriors would make a run with the starters, the bench would come on and give it away, and it would evaporate quick. The Warriors had 15 turnovers in this game to the Kings 10 turnovers, so it wasn't a horrible game. The Warriors even shot 50% to the field goal percentage of the Kings, which was 40%, Jay. So even a 10% difference for them, Jay. But it's so hard to make up when you have your starters playing such good basketball, and then you come off the floor and then you're like, you got to fight all the way back, Jay. But when you have a certain someone, Jay, those insurmountable leads, you sometimes got to play hero ball. But this is what happened, Jay. Andrew Wiggins and Stephen Curry took over this game. The chef took over this game. Andrew Wiggins, who went 10 for 17 from the field in this one, 4 for 8 from the 3-point line, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He was doing everything, plus 16 in this game, 25 points. And we saw at the end of this game, when the Warriors were struggling to score some baskets at the end, struggling to generate offense, Andrew Wiggins came up with 2 huge threes to bring them within a tie game. And then it was closing time, Jay. And enter Stephen Curry, man, 7 from 24, 17 24 from the field, 70%, 7 for 12 from the 3-point line, 58%, Jay. And the statistics, don't always tell this whole story, but in this one for him, they told the whole story, Jay. You sometimes when your team's struggling like the way that the Warriors are, you got to score somehow, you got to generate some offense, and that's exactly what he did. This game was a little tighter than it needed to be on the Warriors side of things. You want to win more comfortably, but when you're struggling like this, you need your star, you need your closer to come up big, and that's what happened. Exactly what happened, and they were able to come away with a 3-point win in this one. Didn't love what I saw from Klay Thompson this one. He continues to struggle with Jordan Poole. I know the worst, Jay. He's on my squad, continue to struggle. And one could argue, and the NBA did come back with this, the Warriors did take the 3-point lead at the end off a 3 from Steph. But then Kevin Huerter on an out-of-bounds play was fouled. As the reports, the referees, officials, they come back with a 2-minute report. He was fouled on the last play. So, we by Klay Thompson to add to that situation. So just not the play that they're getting for their bench players, as well as, the veterans Warriors, if they want to be successful, they're going to need better minutes from Klay Thompson, and Jordan Poole. So, Jay, they were able to squeak away with this, man. But overall, a pretty wild game, man.
Yeah, Jay, definitely a wild game. Love to see, yeah, man. One of the first things besides Curry's 47-point game, one of the first things I noticed was just I love to see Andrew Wiggins having a big bounce back game. He's been really struggling to get it going, struggling to be that scorer that really made him the all-star that he was last year. So it was great to see him have a great, efficient night. So big shout out to Wiggins. Same thing that you said though, Jay. It is a bit concerning that Curry puts 47 points up and the Warriors get a 3-point win over the Kings. And even Draymond said that, man, this felt like one of those like Steph playoff games. And I was like, man, it really did, like watching, but it's not playoffs and it's the Kings. So it's like, those are the situations that kind of like, will worry some a little bit. And then I already said it on a couple of episodes ago. I just don't see the same it factor that I seen with this team last year, from their lack of depth to their inability to be able to give the starters a rest. I mean, you talked about it, Jay. If the starters have to carry and dominate games like this early in the regular season against teams like the Kings, teams like the Pistons, teams, bottom feeders, then, what will they have left in the tank when you need to play a Bucks, you need to play a Suns, you need to play, elite teams of the West or the East, man. But I think, the biggest thing of this though, Jay, biggest takeaway of this is what you said. And that's just at times, when your second options like, Klay Thompson and Jordan Pooles and the other guys aren't getting it done, you just got to give it to somebody and just say like, yo, go win me this game. And there's only probably about 5, 6, maybe, I don't even know if 6, probably 5, 4 players in the league that can do that. And he's absolutely one of them. So, he did his thing, ridiculous 47-point game on great shooting. So definitely a great game to watch as a basketball fan, Jay. Let me keep it pushing, Jay, and let's get to a game that I saw on November 9th. And that was the Clippers versus the Lakers. The Clippers beat the Lakers 114-101. I mean, that first quarter for the Lakers, offensively and defensively, was horrendous, man. Allowing 38 points from the Clippers, 15 alone from Paul George. When LeBron and AD came off the court in that first quarter, I saw the Lakers go on a 4-minute streak without a made field goal. I believe they stayed at, after AD left the court, they were already at 21 points. They stayed at 21 points until that first quarter ended. And in that first quarter, it just looked easy for PG, man. He was getting to his spots. We know Paul George is a first ballot Hall of Famer, a great scorer. But you at least got to contest it, man. And then the Lakers weren't even contesting it. You could just tell that Paul George clearly was just shouldering a lot of that scoring load. Another just kind of SMH Kawhi Leonard, because he should be here. Paul George should not be having to shoulder all of this scoring load. And because he's on my fantasy, so he should also.
Hey, Jay, but I saw he's back to 5-on-5 scrimmages, so that's good news for you, Jay, and the Clippers.
It is good news for me. Yeah. Me and what's that? Steve Ballmer. That's his name. I was about to say Ballmer. I was about to say Donald Sterling. I'm tripping. I'm tripping, Jay. Yeah. But all right, Jay. But anyway, the second quarter, Lakers have a big bounce back second quarter, only allowing 16 points from the Clippers in that entire quarter, and the Lakers ended that quarter on an 18-2 run, which really fueled by their defense, man. Anthony Davis was roaming down the middle when Patrick Beverly and Russell Westbrook are running around creating chaos in the perimeter, and Anthony Davis is in that middle holding it down. They're, which is the reason why they're a top defensive rating team in the league. But in the third quarter, this is a chess match, man. And Ty Lue proved why he's one of the great coaches, and he honestly outcoached Darvin Ham that game. The Clippers came out, did a great job and defending Anthony Davis in that third quarter. Like every time the ball was even coming to Anthony Davis, the double would already be coming, and they put the pressure on AD. AD felt it, had 4 turnovers in this game, just wasn't able to be as aggressive as he usually is, and didn't get to the line nearly as much. And I feel like when you're playing against a player like Zubac, when you're playing against players who clearly nobody is at AD's level, he needs to be able to take it to the line. But as a team, the Clippers come together and didn't allow AD to one-on-one go at Zubac or go really at at anybody. And the Clippers outscored the Lakers by 12 points in that third quarter. And in that fourth quarter, Jay, was timely turnovers. The Lakers had 7 turnovers of their 15 in the game just in that fourth quarter. And a lot of the times, timely turnovers cost you the game.
And what we're starting to see in this sense is, you know, Bron number one, you know, this was the first time we've seen him injured, but he hasn't been playing his best basketball. He hasn't been playing the top 5, you know, greatest player of all time type basketball that he can be playing. Anthony Davis certainly hasn't been playing to the level. And not to mention that, Jay, night to night, we don't know what we're going to get from Anthony Davis. And we've said that since the bubble. We don't know what we're going to get from him. And this is a similar thing, not his worst game that he's played, but I thought he was getting outplayed all night by Ivica Zubac. And if you're the Lakers, you just can't have a guy, Anthony Davis, who arguably led you to a title in 2020, getting outplayed by Ivica Zubac. It just can't happen if you expect to win basketball games. And that's what we saw all night from the Lakers. The defensive energy just isn't there anymore. It's not even, we can't even now even say it's all Russell Westbrook, Jay. At this point, the Lakers have one option, and that's to bring in, try to get Buddy Hield, to try to get Miles Turner. We heard the interview of him saying that he, you know, reach out to me, like I would love to be a Laker, and I think that's exactly what the Lakers should do. But you know, there's rumors and reports is at what point is it just you wrap this season up and you just throw in the towel, Jay, because you're not yet, but you're gonna get to that point if you drop some more games, right? There's a certain point, you're 3-9 or whatever you are right now. There's a chance that you slide, you win one game and then you lose 3 more, and you're looking at 4-12. You're looking at 4-13. So you got to start searching for answers, because certainly from what we can see right now, the answers aren't there. This is a team who's relying on two superstars, and one of them's not playing to the level that he needs to be playing. So that was what your calling card. That was why we had them 7th in the West, and we're not getting 2 top 10, top 5 players from LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And another example of that, what we saw from Ivica Zubac outplaying Anthony Davis.
Yeah, Jay, that definitely. I mean, the Lakers are definitely only going to go as far as Anthony Davis goes. But I mean, as far as that, definitely wasn't no like Zubac's one-on-one beating out AD. If you check and watch out that game, it was definitely every time AD had the ball, a double, triple coming every single time, which is part of Ty Lue's genius plan, which is Ty Lue was able to keep AD down. But as far as AD though, AD has been not championship bubble AD. I totally agree with that, but he definitely has been there. Has played in 10 games so far, 23 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, definitely doing his thing. LeBron, on the other hand, hasn't been arguably the greatest player of all time, hasn't been the man who last year led the league in scoring, and arguably could have been won the scoring title, played enough games. He hasn't been that. And honestly, I think one thing, I believe it was KCP that said it. KCP said, I just don't see that spark in LeBron. And some of these games, I'm also not seeing that just give me the ball, get out the way, and I'm gonna score. And that's one thing that I think I see with age. Father time catches up with everyone. So that's why players like Russell Westbrook, and if he's a dog, if he's gonna want to be that dog that he claims that he is all the time, I'm a dog, I do whatever it takes on the court, then this is when he needs to step in, because LeBron still can score with the best at whatever time he wants. He just can't do it throughout the entire game. So Russell Westbrook and AD need to more shoulder that load first quarter, second quarter, and then allow LeBron to even have the energy to, go out and do what he needs to do in the fourth. Because when you see time, when LeBron wants to get to the hoop, he still gets to the hoop. But it's as far as being able to do it throughout the game. If he does it all the first quarter, all second quarter, doesn't have any gas left to when comes that fourth quarter.
Yeah, Jay. I mean, if I'm LeBron, I'm looking around the locker room, I'm looking around at the bench, and I'm seeing Troy Brown Jr., I'm seeing Austin Reeves, I'm seeing I'm seeing Kendrick, I'm seeing Max Christie, Jay, playing 14 minutes a game. I'm seeing all these guys who can't help me when I'm 37, I'm 38, Jay. I've dedicated my whole career. I'm trying to bring, this Lakers franchise back, Jay. That he brought him a championship, but I just think the general manager, Rob Pelinka, Janie Buss, should be ashamed themselves, man. The team that they formed around um, LeBron at this age just simply can't. It's not going to get it done. It's not on Russell Westbrook, Jay. He's been playing better basketball. It's Austin Reeves. It's Troy Brown Jr., who's been playing. He's a good addition, I won't say, but it's Austin Reeves should not be a starting backcourt for the Lakers right now. I just can't. I can't. If you're trying to compete, which they should be, Jay, and I think that's weighing on LeBron at 38 years old. He's got to play hero ball every night. We saw him try to do it last year, and they didn't even make the play-in tournament. So I can't really be mad at the guy, but yes, they do need him to play better basketball if they want to win along with AD. Because you stay all these stats, Jay, but I'm judging off what the product we see, and we still can't rely on Anthony Davis being bubble Anthony Davis, and he certainly hasn't been the same player that he has been since the bubble, and that's just a fact.
Yeah, Jay, definitely a fact. But I mean, I think you with that Austin Reeves statement. I mean, you could prove me if I'm wrong, but I mean, like, don't know how many Lakers games you've actually gotten the chance to watch. A shooter around LeBron, whether a big name or a little name, a shooter needs to be on the court with LeBron James, and she is a good shooter, and that's why he's on the court. There are not many good shooters on that Lakers team, but with the options that they have, he should be on the court. So I definitely got to push back on that. He absolutely should be. He absolutely should be a starter because LeBron needs shooters around him, and unfortunately, that team, because of the problem that started from the head, Rob Pelinka didn't bring enough shooters on this team. And now what you have to do is put players who aren't shooters but are better than your non-shooters on the court, man. So I definitely got to push back on that statement. I think that's just a little bit of a hype beast statement. Not a lot of people know Austin Reeves' name, but he getting it done.
Though, I've watched enough Laker games, so I'll have to push back on that. And I will say that I didn't say that Austin Reeves isn't for the Lakers roster. Yes, he's fine, but I'm saying in the NBA he should not be starting, and that's what I'm saying. It's a disservice to LeBron James that Austin Reeves is in the starting lineups for the Lakers, and he's trying to compete and win basketball games when it could have been Buddy Hield. That's the only thing I'm saying. Austin Reeves for this Lakers roster, yes, certainly they don't have many better options or any better options than Austin Reeves, who's shooting 33% and 43% from the field this season. If that's the best they have, it actually is the best they have. But I'm saying that's a shame. And Robert Pelinka and Jeannie Buss should be ashamed of themselves. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not saying that Austin Reeves shouldn't be starting for this current Lakers team.
Got it. All right, Jay. So let's get to your game, your next game that you got here for a recap.
The arena was buzzing. The arena was rocking, Jay, and we were in a building on Wednesday night at Scotiabank Arena, downtown Toronto, Jay, and we were in the building for the Toronto Raptors 116-109 win over the Houston Rockets, Jay. This was a good game to be at, man. This was a game that saw 7 lead changes, 7 ties. 7 times tied in this game. So this was just a back and forth game. And I remember sitting down with Oko, we always, whenever I go to a game with him, we always try to get there early, get the vibe, get the feel of the energy in the building, watch pregame warmups, watch guys getting their individual work on. And as we were watching Fred VanVleet early on, before the game, get his work on. And I always loved seeing, being able to go to enough Raptor games at this point and going early as I always try to do, seeing Fred work out before the game, absolutely phenomenal. It feels like he's, every guy kind of goes through the motions, but it feels like this dude is going through the motions, like slow, like negative time, speed. I don't know, but the dude gets it done, plays the same way that he does in the warm-up. So that's credible to see. But one thing that Oko talked about, and we were talking, he said, the Rockets aren't gonna make this easy. I'm expecting this to be a close game. It's gonna be a back and forth type of game. That's exactly what we saw. The Houston started out hot. They came out guns blazing, started off Jalen Green attacking the rim. Alperen Sengun, who I love seeing him in person, saw that his skill, his tenacity, his want to, and only saw 30 minutes in this game. Crazy to see what he could do with more minutes. But the young Rockets came out blazing this one with a Toronto Raptors team who was without Pascal Siakam. Rockets finished the first quarter with a 37-29 lead over the Raptors. And then in the second quarter, the Raptors flipped the switch and they won that quarter 28-17. Jay, so this was a tale of two quarters to start this off, man. And we saw Fred VanVleet, who scored 12 of his season high 32 points in the fourth quarter. So it was a Fred show in the fourth quarter, but OG Anunoby was doing it and pacing them throughout the game, not just the fourth quarter. OG Anunoby in this one matched his season best with 27 points and added 10 rebounds in this one, Jay. So just a great showing. And I got to give a shout out to my guy, the NBA champion, Otto Porter Jr., who came off the bench with 14 points, Jay. Absolutely phenomenal showing from him. He just provided that same energy. For him, it's always been staying on the floor. It's always been being healthy. And that's exactly what we saw from him. Precious Achiuwa went down late in this game. I believe he's going to be out for an extended amount of time. Unfortunate to see him down, but next man up mentality. That's what we've seen consistently from Nick Nurse and his rotations, and what he likes to do is, it's a next man up approach. You don't never know what guy's going to be in the rotation. You never know who is going to be playing. And Otto Porter Jr. with 23 minutes of this game, 5 for 8 from the field, 2 for 5 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds in this one, Jay, 1 steal. Just making winning plays that we saw in the NBA Finals last year, Jay. And that's what you love to see if you're the Raptors, and why you signed him on a veteran minimum, or I believe the maximum that they could give him for 1 year, Jay. But here we go. I'm going to flip the script to the Rockets, man. And the Rockets saw a big night from 2 guys who really impressed me in this one. And that was Kenyon Martin Jr. Jr. played 22 minutes in this one, provided that energy and grit off the bench. He was plus 18, so playing winning basketball, because that reflects on that efficient 5 for 6 from the field. And then Terry Eason, man, they also call him Mr. Preseason because we saw him flash off and play very well in the preseason. He hasn't been getting very much burn this season for the Rockets, man. He was 5 for 15 from the field, but that's not what we're going to talk about at all in this one, Jay. It was his defensive energy that kept him on the floor and provided a huge boost off the bench for the Rockets in this one. And he had 5 steals, was active in the passing lanes, was getting in defensively into the wings and the guards for the Rockets, made life miserable for Gary Trent Jr., actually, who went only 4 for 8 in this game, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line, but he wasn't able to get comfortable shots. That's why he only took 8 shots in this game. Wasn't really able to get very much involved in the offense. And then, Jay, I know earlier we're talking about young talent. We're talking about Springs. We're talking about Ja Morant. And another player who's arguably one of the most explosive players in the game, definitely in the younger group of players, and that's Jalen Green, man. 8 for 14 in this game. Just some questionable shot selection, as we've seen early on his career, but I was surprised because there was some shots that he took some tough shots and had some tough makes in this one, man. And also, as we can see from this line, going 8 from 14, especially on the road, was huge from this one, man. But at the end of the day, Jay, I talked a lot about players, the veteran presence. I think Nick Nurse being the better coach than Steven Silas. The Raptors just executing down the stretch, feeding off the home crowd in this one, the Scotiabank Arena, Jay. They're able to close it out on the heels of on the back of Fred VanVleet in this one, making some huge shots and some huge plays. And then, like I said earlier, Otto Porter Jr. as well, coming up with some big shots and some big hits to close out the Rockets on the road. But credit to the Rockets for staying in this one. I certainly thought they were going to get blown out in this one, especially in the third quarter when we saw the Raptors make their run early in that game. But the young Rockets were able to stay in this, but ultimately came up short. And shout out Kevin Porter Jr. He played a solid game as well.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's what I was gonna highlight real quick, man. Kevin Porter Jr. had a super solid game, man. He had a double with 12 points, 11 assists. I do want to see him get that 3-point percentage higher, man. But just really quick, I really want to highlight the fact that 10 Rockets players played. 7 of the 10 Rockets players scored 12 or more points. So they were just really getting after it. Just one of those young teams who really know how to put the ball in the basket and really run the court up and down. But that second quarter, Jay, honestly, a great recap. You know, I have to second everything that you said, but that second quarter is where I would say the Rockets lost this game. They got outscored 17-28, and that just put them in too bad of a hole. Because I mean, the third quarter they only got outscored by 1 point. They only got outscored by 3 in that fourth quarter. But I think that, you know, if they would have been able to make that second quarter a little bit more of a competition, a little bit of a closer game, maybe this could have gone otherwise. But not glad, but you know, I'm happy that the Rockets are, you know, doing their thing. I mean, the Raptors are doing their thing, and I'm happy you and Oko had a good time, Jay.
Jay, I feel that, Jay.
Yes,
Jay's wearing his Raptors colors today.
I'm rocking the Raptors colors today, man. If you're not on YouTube, you see I'm rocking the Raptors colors.
He's rocking the Raptors colors today.
I'm rocking the red Nike Tech. So that's for the Raptors. Yeah, we got the red for the Raptors from back here, man. So shout out the Raptors. Well, all right, Jay. So I think it's a good place for us to go ahead and wrap it up here, Jay. Talked about a lot of great things in this episode. Introduce our new yay or nay segment, our new true or false segment. Recap some of these great games. Hopefully everybody voted this week. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make a change, make sure your voices are heard. But all right, Jay, I think this is a good place for us to wrap it up. My brother, you got any last words to say before we sign off here?
Nah, Jay. Another great episode. Stay tuned for next week and what we got upcoming, man. Busy week ahead for us. And we'll say next month, stay tuned as well, because we will be getting some live episodes as I will be returning to the Bay. So I'm looking forward to that, Jay. But that's all I got to say, man.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all heard it, man. Y'all heard it. So stay tuned. Much more on the way. Make sure you go check out our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, anywhere really in social media. We up on there. Just look for Clutch Talk Pod and support the family, man. If you're on YouTube, make sure you smash that subscribe button. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, make sure you leave a nice ranking below and let us know what you guys want to hear, man. But if that's it, then we out here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.
Peace.